Hey everyone, HumziPlayz here, and we got our first trailer for the new Pokemon anime series. And yeah, so let's get into it and start breaking it down. So yeah, this Pichu here, it turns out it's Ash's Pikachu, and we're finally getting the backstory on Ash's Pikachu. I thought that this was kind of far-fetched at first when I first heard, oh, maybe this is Ash's Pikachu and we're gonna finally get his backstory because what's the point of having the backstory for Ash's Pikachu? Like, I just thought that there's kind of no point, and I thought that this would probably be a random Pichu, but it turns out that this is Ash's Pichu, well, Ash's Pikachu, and that we're gonna get his backstory, and I guess we're gonna see how Ash's Pichu evolved into Pikachu before Ash got it, and yeah, it's really cool that they're going this route. I mean, like, I thought that this idea would be really cool for them to do, but I just kind of couldn't see it in my head. But yeah, it's cool that they're having Ash's Pikachu have a backstory, and that's gonna give Pikachu an extra layer of depth, and we're gonna understand Pikachu's history. And the first episode of this new anime series airs on November 17th, and it's titled Pikachu is Born. And here's the summary. In a forest somewhere in Kanto, there once was a lonely Pichu. This Pichu, who was still very young, went through a certain encounter and farewell. This all took place shortly before Ash and his partner Pikachu started their journey. This is the story of how everything began. So yeah, I think this is going to have something to do with the baby Kangaskhan that we saw, and that maybe Ash's Pikachu was friends with this baby Kangaskhan, and then they had to separate for some reason. And in the trailer we do see Pichu crying, and then we get another shot of Pikachu looking into a pond and looking at his own reflection. So I think that we're going to get the scene where we see Pichu evolving into Pikachu and then looking down into the pond and seeing how he looks like when he is evolved. And it's going to be really interesting because Pichu evolves when he has full friendship. Although in the anime they might not stick with that because Pichu needs to have full friendship with its trainer to evolve. But yeah, it could just evolve like somehow randomly in the anime. So yeah, I kind of think that Pichu is going to evolve from sadness instead of happiness because maybe Pichu's friend will like go away somehow and then Pichu will evolve into Pikachu through sadness instead of happiness. But we'll see when the episode airs. Yeah, I always think it's really cool when there's a flashback and we see the characters past, like how we saw Serena and Ash at the summer camp. And that's how we got the backstory between Serena and Ash, although I felt like that could have been done better. Like there could have been more flashbacks and backstory to the camp, and maybe we could have seen more of their flashback. So hopefully here we will see more flashbacks if they're necessary. I'm not really sure why they're showing Pikachu's backstory because usually if it's not relevant to the story they don't show it. So maybe here they're gonna somehow include Pikachu's origin story in the anime series, and that'll be really interesting to see. It'll be cool though because maybe we'll finally know why Pikachu was so grouchy when Ash picked it for his starter Pokemon, and how they were unfriendly with each other at first, and then Pikachu saved Ash from those Spearow because Ash was trying to protect Pikachu. So most likely Pikachu had a bad experience, and that's why he wasn't trusting of humans, and then with Ash he started to trust humans. And fingers crossed that it's going to be a really cool backstory and that it will be really thought out and developed. So we see Mew here, and we know from previous descriptions that Go saw Mew when he was younger, and then he decided that he wanted to capture Mew. And then we see Professor Sakuragi here giving Go the chance to pick one of the 3 Kanto starters, and it's kind of strange how Professor Oak isn't the one giving Go the starter, it's Professor Sakuragi. But maybe in Vermilion City, Professor Sakuragi gives the starter Pokemon, because Go is from Vermilion City and not like a city in the Galar region, which is weird because usually the one of the main characters who travels with Ash is from the new region. And yeah, just looking at all these backgrounds and environments, it looks a lot like X and Y to me, and it looks very detailed and nice. So it seems like Go isn't going to be choosing any of these Kanto starters, and he says, I choose Mew, so I wonder what's going to happen once he says I choose Mew. But we know that he's going to have Scorbunny as a starter, so I'm sure that maybe like he'll go out and then somehow he'll meet up with Scorbunny, like maybe Scorbunny will save him from something, and then he'll end up with Scorbunny as a starter. And here we see Ash, and I think here he has found Go, and he challenges Go to a Pokemon battle because in another scene we saw Scorbunny at this sort of environment. So I think here Scorbunny will join Go, and that we will get the first battle between Ash and Go. And I like Ash's design here, like his eyes look a lot bigger, he seems a little bit more serious too. So we see Nidoking here, so this could be like Team Rocket's Nidoking or some wild Nidoking, but it's cool to see Nidoking in the anime again. And then we get a shot of Pikachu versus Scorbunny, and Scorbunny kicks Pikachu in the face. I mean, this is an opening, so not all of these scenes might come true in the actual anime, but I still think that this battle will probably take place in Vermilion City, in the port. And we see Corviknight here, and this looks like it's Vermilion Port, or it could be any port. And we see Pokemon like Gengar, Bisharp, Garchomp, and Corviknight, so yeah, it seems like there's going to be a lot of trainers using moves or something. Maybe they're like poachers trying to capture Lugia. And what's interesting here is for the description for Ash, it says, a boy who aims to be the strongest Pokemon battler. So instead of saying he wants to become a Pokemon master, it says he wants to become the strongest Pokemon battler. And I'm not sure if those two are the same things, or maybe just they mistranslated this, or that was just sort of part of the translation. But yeah, the strongest Pokemon battler. I mean, I feel like that's the same thing as the Pokemon master. And for Go's description, it says, a boy who dreams of collecting all Pokemon. See, I really think that Go was inspired by Pokemon Go, just because you could like capture like almost every Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So we see here that Go accepts Ash as his friend, so maybe in the beginning they don't get along that well, or Go doesn't trust Ash, but here, like while they were riding on Lugia, Go accepts Ash as his friend. Here we see the main female character, Koharu. It seems like she doesn't like that her dad researches and observes Pokemon all day, because she says like all my dad ever does is research and observe Pokemon. So we don't even learn that much about her. We just know from this description that her father is a Pokemon researcher, but we don't know like what does she want to do. And I think that in the episodes to come we'll learn more about Koharu and maybe what she wants to do, like what her goal is, because it'll be kind of weird if we don't learn more about Koharu and what she wants to do. But yeah, it doesn't seem like she likes that her dad just is a researcher, and maybe she wants more from her dad. And what's interesting here is Ash says he'll definitely become a Pokemon master together with this guy. I feel like Ash sees a lot of potential in Go, and that Ash could learn a lot from Go, and that's why he will decide to travel with Go. So we see Ash in his classic pajamas here, and Pikachu has this red spot on his head because probably the alarm fell on Pikachu's head, and then Ash threw the alarm at the wall. And this is, at first I thought this was the same alarm that Ash threw in the original series, but in the original series that alarm was a Voltorb, and in here it's a Pokeball, but I mean they both have a Pidgey inside the alarm. And also this isn't Ash's room, this is the bunk bed that Ash is on, because he's going to be doing research with Professor Sakuragi and Go, and they're going to be living in Vermilion City for a little while. And I think what's interesting here is we see Pikachu look at Ash while he's running, and Pikachu looks at Ash for a pretty long time, and I think it's because Pikachu is just thinking about Ash and how much he enjoys being with Ash. And we see Go here running towards something very excitedly, and we see Professor Sakuragi's lab in the back, and what he says is something very anime-like, just you wait, the future lies in my hands. And for some reason that gets me really hyped up to see this episode, just to see what Go does. So here we see Ash and Go riding on Lugia, and I think for some reason Lugia is in the Vermilion Port, and that's why they say a rare Pokemon has appeared in Vermilion Port. And maybe there was some poachers there, and Ash and Go are going to try to get rid of the poachers, or I don't know why those Pokemon were there, like Garchomp and Corviknight. Maybe there's some Officer Jenny's trying to get rid of the poachers. But yeah, I wonder why Lugia is in Vermilion City of all places, and why Ash and Go are riding on Lugia. And here we see Go looking at a rainbow and blushing, and I think this might be when Lugia appears, and he's just like so amazed to see Lugia. And we get a random shot of Mew here, and then we see Go looking at something again, and he's also still blushing. So maybe Mew was transformed as Lugia, and Go is just so happy to see Mew. Like for some reason Go really likes Mew and he wants to catch it, and I was just thinking like, who does this kid think he is? He wants to capture Mew. I don't know if he'll actually capture Mew in this series. I don't think he will. I feel like he'll just befriend Mew and he won't actually catch Mew, but we'll see. I mean, his goal is to capture every single Pokemon, and that's a really hard goal to have, and I think it'll just be weird to see main character in the Pokemon anime series capturing legendaries. I mean, you do it in the games, but I mean in the anime, like, that would just be weird to see. And then the final image here, we see a poster, and we see like all the regions and Pokemon. So on the right side we see Johto, But on the bottom of that, we see the Galar region. Below that is Kanto. And then to the left of that is Sinnoh. To the left of that is Unova. And then on the bottom is Hoenn. And then above that is Kalos. And then above that is Alola. So yeah, I do think it's interesting that we see Charizard, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur here. We also see Psyduck and Butterfree. But yeah, overall, I think it's really cool that Ash's Pikachu is getting his backstory. And we got this new footage. And yeah, I'm really excited for what the new series has to offer. And yeah, I can't wait until it starts airing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And I'll see you in the next one.